Well, hello all my DIY friends, and today I want to show you how I build a very simple table base, okay, that can be used for any size tabletop and any shape. This is the round tabletop that I just built in my last video out of the leftover oak, but I've used this on rectangular tables and a big square table that I actually have in my kitchen. Here it is pictured. The table base is the same, it's just done to different proportions. In this base, I glued 2x4s together to make 3" by 3" legs. I wanted them chunky, and that rail is going to be a little bit wider. Now, in this table, all these legs are just pre-bought 2x2s. Okay, the rails are just a piece of wood that I had left over from some other project. It's about 2¼ inches wide. Okay, it's pallet wood, so it's 5/8 inches thick. But you could very easily just go buy yourself a 1x2 or a 1x4 or whatever size dimensions you want for this table base. The only special tool that I use is my Kreg pocket hole jig, because it's just cut these pieces to the length you want, use pocket holes, attach the rails to the legs with pocket holes, use pocket holes to attach the base to the tabletop. So let me jump in here, show you how easy this build is, and maybe you can build your own. So I've already got all of my pieces cut. I had 3 legs from the old table that were salvaged. I had to cut one more leg, and I just had a old treated 2x6 in here that had plenty of room on it, so it came out to the same dimensions as these legs. And then I've got my 4 sides, and this is a very simple joinery using pocket screws. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp the pocket jig to the end of each board, and I'm going to put 2 pocket hole screws in each board and then assemble this thing. So very simple. I didn't show you me cutting this lumber because really you can use dimensional lumber here. You could go buy a 1x2. You could go buy 2x2s, because that's all these are. These were 2x2s. And, you know, just cut things to length. I've already got them pre-sanded, so now it's just assembly. So all I've got to do is just drill my pocket holes. Be nice if I had my drill going the proper way. Let me do this over here. That's funny. Okay, so there's one end. So I'm just going to keep going on both ends, put 2 pocket holes, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how I'm going to put a couple pocket holes to attach the base to the tabletop. Well, all right, so I've got my pocket holes drilled, and you can see them on both ends of this piece of wood. Now, how I'm going to attach this to the tabletop is I'm going to put 2 more pocket holes in each one of these pieces so that I can screw from in the base up into the tabletop to hold the tabletop down. So that's how I'm going to get that done. So that's what I'll do now, and I'll come back and show you what the piece looks like. Well, I've moved assembly indoors. It's very cold outside. We've had a cold front blew through last night, very unseasonable here in Mobile, and it's very windy. The wind's still blowing out of the north, so I wanted to be a little warmer. But let me show you how I'm assembling this and how I'm using actually it's a paint stir is what I'm using to give me a little better look. I don't want the rail here to be flush with the outside of the leg. I want it to be inset just a little bit, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm taking this paint stir and laying it on the table, and I'm putting my leg up against it and then putting the rail on top of it. So that is going to give me a little inset, the thickness of this paint stir. So what I'm thinking is probably about 1/4 inch. And that's all I want. It just gives a little bit of a different look. I'm using 1-inch pocket screws. Excuse me, I'm gonna put my glasses on to finish this. I am using glue as well, so I'll get a little glue here on the end. There we go, just for some extra strength. And set this down right up against that. Got it all lined up. Get my 2 pocket screws, I had them right here. And just very easily screw them together. Now, these pocket screws make joinery real simple for us that are, you know, not carpenters. I am no carpenter by any stretch of the imagination. So here is one side of my table base, and you can see that there's a little inset right there. And I do want to make sure, show you this to make sure that when you assemble this, that you get these pocket holes that I drilled facing up. Don't have them where they're facing down. Now it won't work. Your legs won't go together. So I'm going to do another side just like this, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how I attach them all together. All right, so I've got 2 sides done. Now I need to start attaching them together. So I'm going to put another piece up against the inside here. Again, using pocket screws, 1 inch, a little bit of glue. This assembly just goes so quickly once you get things going. Oops, I've got a little piece of wood stuck on there. Let me fix that. There we go. That's better. Okay, get my pocket screw. Awesome, that one tried to get away from me a little bit. Terrific, just wipe off the excess glue. Now, let me come over and show you a little close-up here. So, there's the corner right there, and you can see the little inset right there. Okay, got a little inset on this side. Just gives it more of a decorative look. Okay, I'll put another piece here, and then attach the other side to it. All right, so I got both rails on one side. Now, I just need to attach the other side to those rails. And again, it's just a very simple process here of taking your time and assembling. Sometimes you think you need a second set of hands, kind of like that last piece that I put on, but if you just get yourself at the right angle and think about what you're doing, take your time and control your pieces of lumber, then you'll be in great shape. So it's really kind of nice there. They kind of rest up against one another. Let me get my 2 screws. Now I'm going to come around here and kind of get my back to you, because I need to be over here to put these 2 screws in. Make sure that everything is lined up. All right, so I just ran into a problem, but an easy solution. My drill bit, my screw bit is too long, but I've got a short one over there, so let me go get it. All right, so there's my short bit right there. So that allows my drill to fit in here. There we go. Okay, one more. Beautiful. Now, I just need to turn it over and do this side. Make sure that everything is lined up. I already put glue on that piece. And I like these, the Kreg screws, because they got a square end to the bit, and it kind of holds the screw on there for you. And voila, we have a very simple table base, okay? Simple as that, very easy. And here's the tabletop that's gonna go on it. And if you didn't see my video of making that tabletop, you need to go back and check that one out because it was a really good video. But now I just have to attach it. But what I'm gonna do first is I'm actually gonna paint this base before I attach it, because this table is gonna be outside. Oops, geez. Oh, all clumsy. And if I don't paint it, then these parts of the wood are gonna stay raw. And I've had rotting happen there quickly. So I wanna get this whole thing painted first, and then I'll do the attaching. So once I get that done, then we'll be at the end of the video. So I've got 2 coats of paint on the base. I'm always a little impatient when it comes to paint and letting it dry. It's not totally dry in every area, but dry enough for me to attach to the tabletop, the base to the tabletop. And so I've got the table base centered where I want it. Again, if you saw the original build here, I mean, this table isn't perfectly round. It's very close to being round, but I did it with a handheld saber saw. So I've got this thing as close as I am going to get it to being centered. Just took me playing around with a tape measure and measuring from sides and the corners here of it to the edges of the table. Now, just attach this with these screws, all right? So again, I'm using 1-inch pocket screws, and I'm just gonna go in here and go around the table and keep attaching all the way around. And then this will be a finished product. I wanna make sure I don't drive these too hard and have a screw come through the front side of the top of the table. It's hard to talk when you're talking front side, top side, bottom side, and everything is upside down. Let me get over here. Two more. You can tell that paint's not dry. I've got it on the drill bit where I stuck it in the little pockets. Well, there you go. I got a little on my fingers. So let me turn this over. And there I have my finished table. Beautiful. And I used the same black paint that was left over from when I did that other table that's on my front porch, where I used this same oak leftovers from the birdhouse project. I kind of laminated them together in a butcher block. I'll put a link to that table below. That was a really cool build. But there it is. So let me go put this outside where it's going to sit, and we'll wrap this up. Well, there you go. Another finished little DIY project. And like with every project, you got to test it to make sure it's going to work. Holds that beer really, really well. So I hope you enjoyed this little build here. Not only the top, again, go back and check out that video, but the very simple table base. And again, can be used for any dimension table. It can be square, it can be round, it can be rectangular. It doesn't matter. The way you make that base is the same. And you can use, you know, stock lumber, just buy it from the store at 2x2s, or if you're making a huge table, 4x4s, 2x4s, and just use those pocket screws to attach the rails to the legs, and then the pocket screws to attach the top to the base. And you got a simple DIY table base. Well, thanks folks for coming in and watching. I hope you enjoyed this project. Go back and check out some of my other ones. I don't know if you can tell how hard this wind is blowing, but boy, that front is just still coming through Mobile right now. All right, we will see y'all in the next video.